sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward sports merch today.
Let's get the dub.
What up, though, Detroit? It's your crew, man. Wake up, Woodward. It's your boy, Detroit Kool-Aid, in the building for Red Wings and Avalanche. They are honoring Darren McCarty tonight. And like we told you guys, the whole crew is out, man. KG from the sound booth, JB Smooth from the TD booth, and you guys already know the co-host, Mr. Matt Broder. Wake up, Woodward! What up, though, Detroit? Let's go. It's time to wake up, Woodward. You already know the sun is shining, dog, man. The open just got me amped up again.
Let's go.
Being out in the city, man, with the boys, with the crew, man.
That was so much fun last
Woo!
night.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
And we brought home the dub, man. JB's first Red Wings game ever.
Ever.
KG's second Red Wings game
Ever.
And the first as a crew. Wake up, Woodward in the city, man. This is what we're going to do.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Man.
Go.
No, I was just going to say, chat, as always, you're a very, very, very important part of this show, and you're going to see that throughout the show as well. Each segment, we're going to open up with some of our fan interaction. It was dope to see some of the people out there like Detroit Dabber, our chat MVP as well. Tammy Chin.
Yeah.
Shout out.
We got to meet so many great people. Recognize us from Woodward Sports, or us. We're interviewing people, and we get to meet Nick Williams. We had Rake, Detroit Dabber, Jimmy St. Dennis of the St. Dennis Show, Alex Fagenson. So many cool fans, so many cool friends. John Kloss, a member of the network. One of our awesome Tigers fan who cuts a lot of our clips. We just got to meet so many people, but really celebrating DMAC and seeing what the impact DMAC has on that arena. I know it's not Joe Louis, but it's still Hockey Town, and DMAC is so loved. It is my first time getting to witness him walking around with his security team and fans trying to run up, and he's signing autographs, and there's just this long line right outside of Mike's Pizza Bar where he's just interacting with everybody. It made it all so much more worth it. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. We're going to get to the topics. We're going to get to the headlines around the city. But chat, as always, smash that like button. You guys have continued to have this show be the #1 like show on the network. And we're going to continue to put in all the work we can to interact and feature you all more. Each segment, we're going to feature another fan interaction. The phone lines are open. 313-552-6322. I'm still pumped up, man. A big win for the Red Wings. But kick it off with the topics that we're going to get through today, man, and we'll get around the city.
Yeah, 100%. We are going to talk about the Red Wings more in this next segment, but they did win 2-1 overtime win last night. Dylan Larkin, Captain Dylan Larkin, had 2 points, a goal and assist. A nasty assist in overtime to Patrick Kane, who put the dagger away against Colorado. So they won 2-1. Pistons.
That was my dagger.
Kool-Aid. That was a dagger. What happened to the Pistons last night in Indiana against the Pacers?
Yeah. They were headed towards a 40-point blowout, and they only lost by 15 points.
Let's go!
You know, hey, you know what? Benedict Mathurin, Jaden Ivey, they pretty much matched up pretty well, the game within the game. But they did fall. It was good to see Cade Cunningham. He looks fresh, man.
30 points?
30 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. They did lose 129-115. And it's just clear. You got to get Cade Cunningham more help. I like the fact that they kind of broomed out some of the vets that don't play defense, but on a night like last night, it doesn't seem like anybody on the squad was really amped up to play some defense. You want to see this change, especially with Monty Williams talking about the type of identity that he wants to see out of this team.
Oh, we got a video, Kool-Aid talking to Monty at 8:30. We're coming up talking about that identity. Pistons lose to the Pacers. Michigan hoops. They also lost to Northwestern. They lost 76-62. It's their 8th consecutive road loss. They were ahead 44-43 with about 15 and a half minutes left in the second half.
How many road losses?
8 in a row. 8 in a row. Yeah, they're struggling. They should have won the game, too. If you look at all their team stats compared to Northwestern, they should have won. I don't know what's going on there. Michigan lost. Michigan baseball, they're 2-2. They kick off a weekend series in Texas tonight. They kick it off against Oklahoma State, but then tomorrow they play number 7 team in the country, Oregon State, and Sunday they play the number 2 team in the country, Arkansas. So it is a grueling weekend for the Michigan baseball team. Michigan State hoops their next game Sunday against Ohio State at the Breslin Center. That's Sunday, February 25th. And then we got the Tigers. You want me to tell you about the Tigers? They signed Gio Urshela, and we'll go into more detail about the signing later on in the show. But Gio Urshela, he's a veteran, an 8-year MLB veteran, was injured for half the season last year, but he is a guy to come and compete for at-bats and playing time at third base. He's competing with Andy Ibanez, Vierling, McKinstry. Everything I talked about yesterday about wanting to platoon third base, being okay with that, Gio Urshela is coming in to try to avoid that. Yeah. He will be platooning a little bit, but there's more competition down in spring training, down in Lakeland. Gio Urshela, we'll get into more of his stats, his value. But it's a good signing. I'm excited for that for the Tigers.
I can't wait because it's kind of like what we've been talking about with Brad Holmes and the Tigers kind of mirroring kind of what the Lions have been able to do. And now you see them go out there and aside from just kind of stacking up this young talent that's going to play major important roles for the Detroit Tigers, but they'll also make sure to go and get some key pieces, some key vets, some key experience that can also help not just lead this team in the locker room, but also make some plays on the field.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yes, he can be a stud when he's on the field. He's a stud. Nick White game was lit last night. That's what I'm talking about. Our last topic going around the city, the Detroit Lions made a huge signing yesterday. Re-signing kicker Michael Money Badger Badgley. Let's go.
More going on it? Going for it on fourth downs, I see.
Yeah. We don't know the details of the contract. It's 1 year. I don't know how much money, but probably the easiest money earned. You're not going to have too much on-field action in Dane Campbell and Ben Johnson's office. No, just to be completely real, he made all 4 field goal attempts for the Lions in his 4 games, and hit that 54-yard winner against the Rams in the playoffs that secured that first playoff victory in over 30 years. So, Michael Badgley, he's a fine kicker. Yeah. He's not that Justin Tucker top of the league type guarantee. Michael Badgley's fine. At least they're starting with a plan. We'll see how this takes on new shape as we go into training camp.
And what I do like about it is this: there's expectation. It's not just where you want to get to; it's what you now must maintain. And I'm hoping that everybody, from the most important to whatever people believe might be the least important position on the team, I'm hoping everybody's working out this summer with the expectation of knowing I have to make a kick in the playoffs. I have to make a catch in the playoffs. We're trying to make passes to get us to the Super Bowl. I got to make this extra block. I'm going to have to outrun this person. I'm going to have to learn as a DB to run the route for the wide receiver. This is what I'm hoping that everybody that's coming back, that nobody is thought of or talked about as they were last season. Let's take that next step up so that the words of Dan Campbell can ring true. It's tough to get back. It's nothing. It's not something that just happens every single year, but he does believe that this Detroit Lions team has the ingredients and the recipe to do it. And if they are bringing back the Money Badger, then I think it is because they know that they can depend on this guy to continue to improve, continue to show what he has as well, and contribute to this team winning.
Yeah. I think he's like career 96% in extra points, which until the last few years when they moved it back, you better be over 95%. But nonetheless, he's relatively reliable. So, hey, Lions go into 2024 with a new kicker. Not a new kicker, the same kicker, but a kicker.
Yeah.
There we go. So there it was. Around the city, we hit all the sports action from around Detroit last night. KG, good morning, man. How you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man, off that game last night. I was out with my guys, and shout out PK88 for the overtime goal, man. Had a lot of fun. And yeah, man, I'm excited, man, to look forward to what we got down the pipeline as far as like going to games and fan interaction and stuff of that nature. So yeah.
Yeah, and the 3 stars of the game last night, I know what Dylan Larkin, Patrick Kane, and KG's hoodie.
Damn right. Hey, the hoodie 1-0. The hoodie 1-0 now.
It was getting a lot of love last night.
It was.
Fly. JB, good morning. Do you know your importance to this Red Wings team? The history of the Detroit Red Wings now. You're 1-0. Not only are you 1-0, you didn't get into the game, to the game action until the third period. If I'm not mistaken, they were losing 1-0 until JB walked into that arena.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happened, JB? How was that experience? Tell us about your first ever Red Wings game.
He got
an overtime win.
Walking to his seats and everything, man.
Oh my God.
Talk to us, JB. JB Smooth in the TD booth.
Hey,
the
look.
titty booth.
Look, I'm gonna sit here and say I'm a lucky charm, but I might just be a lucky charm. I'm just saying. We got to our seats during the third period, and the stadium was already electric as it was anyway, but still, we got there, sat down, and next thing you know, I don't know, the Wings started to pick it up, man, and hey, they got that one goal, and next thing you know, we're in overtime, and it's an intense moment, those last few minutes of any hockey game. I've noticed that, but at a Red Wings game, it's just the fans just get into it, they pour the energy to the players, and hey, they showed out last night. It was a very impressive win, and I can't wait to do this with you guys. It's so much more, too.
Yeah.
There's so many more sports we can go to and just have fun with. Enjoy the fans who enjoy watching us, but we love you guys even more just being out there, just hanging out. So we appreciate all of your guys' love and support.
It was so cool. And definitely, there was a gentleman that was sitting in our section as we were going to our seats. If you're in the chat, please say what up, though, so we can make sure we call you out. It was really, really cool, man. He recognized KG, JB, myself, and everything, as I did a lot of other fans, and it was cool to just be in the moment with them. It was really cool. We want to be able to use this platform to make sure you guys also are seen, are heard, and that your passion can resonate just as much as we try to make sure ours does on this platform as well. What a night.
What a night. And I know it's a different era, but could you guys feel the rivalry? We talked about rivalries yesterday. Could you feel at least a little extra amped up energy, seeing that it was the Avalanche, seeing that it's two winning teams fighting for playoff positioning?
Yeah.
Hopefully a playoff spot. The Wings now move in to fourth place, one game ahead of the Tampa Bay
Let's go.
Lightning.
And it's exactly what you said. It's kind of more of the stakes. In the past, it was about what the history was, between the two teams, because the Red Wings were not in position to make the playoffs. Last night, it included the history. Darren McCarty night, he was being honored all over the place, but it was also because of the stakes that were on this game. And it looks like, man, we're definitely going to have some playoff hockey at some just playoffs, period, at LCA this year.
There's a chance. It's April in the D. It's got some serious potential, maybe way earlier than we expected here. There's a chance there could have a day in April where there's an NFL draft, a Tigers game, and a Red Wings playoff game in Detroit all in one day. Come on now. Come on now.
Let's go.
Dare I say the Pistons? Would the Pistons be done by the end of April? Maybe. Who knows? They might not be in the playoffs. They will likely not be in the playoffs. Have they clinched not being in the playoffs?
They technically have not clinched that yet.
Okay, good.
But
I'll clinch it for them. They ain't going.
Yeah. KG can say it.
There we go. Well, hey, how about let's go to break right now? We're at 8:14, so we can get into a little more Red Wings talk. Next, we got Kool talking to Monty Williams. After that, we're going to do some more Lions mock drafts. We're going to react. We're going to do our own. We're going to do so much here. And then KG has a segment later on. It's called Undercover GM.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. What does that even mean? We will see. Let me tell you first about Planet Fitness. Because Planet Fitness, it's the home of the judgment-free zone. Right there, Planet Fitness. Home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. You will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes. No rock wall, right, Neil? Right. And all memberships include fitness training. You get all this for just $10 a month. No commitments. That's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy.
The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and you offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford, Buick, GMC. They still have the same great service that customers have come to know and trust, so go check them out on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Or check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Check them out at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, together. Let's drive. Let's drive. Let's drive.
Hey, what's up? Wake up, Woodward. Wake up out of your sleep. I'm here with the legend Tammy Chen. What's going on, Tammy? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Let's go Red Wings.
Damn right. All right, my first question for you. Will the Red Wings make the playoffs?
Yes, they'll have a wild card berth this year.
They're here. They're honoring Darren McCarty. We see him back here. The lines are packed for him as well. It's cool to see him getting this much love as well for what he meant to Detroit. You talk about a guy who kind of embodied. You see the Lions talking about grit and how it identifies with the city of Detroit and the people of Detroit. That was this guy right here. Just say a few nice things about Darren McCarty, because I know you've been kind of front and center for a lot of it.
You have to remember, Darren played hockey, but Darren's much more than just a hockey player. He goes out of his way, like my sister-in-law Jackie here, she has special needs. Darren goes out of his way, it makes her feel important. You've got Darren the wrestler, who takes time to meet every little kid and sign every autograph for anyone. Well, same here, he's the mayor of LCA. If you look over his shoulder, the line is like almost 75 people deep just to meet Darren. So he means a lot to everyone, and he's willing to give his time just to say hello to the fans. Like he said, they are the batteries to him. So
what up, though, Detroit, man? Look, it's our in the city series, man, on Wake Up Woodward. We're going to be getting out to a lot more games, Pistons games, Red Wings games, Tigers games, and when the Lions roll back around, we'll definitely try and make it out to a couple of those as well. I know you go to all the home games already. You cover it finally for us, but we're going to do as much as we can to feature the fans. Feature the fans, man. Detroit sports has always been one part our team, and then the second part, the best fans in all of sports. But welcome back, you guys, to Wake Up Woodward. Chat family, continue to hit that like button, share the stream. Let's get this stuff out there because you guys are going to be featured on today, and the phone lines are open 313-552-6322. We're talking Lions, we're talking Pistons, we're talking Red Wings today.
How awesome was that seeing Tam? Like, chat MVP, but those words she said about DMAC were spot on. She wasn't really even talking at all about him as a hockey player. It's all the other things he does, all the things he does to support the city, the fans, his fans, wrestling, anybody. Darren McCarty is that guy. I'm proud to know him, proud to work with him. And he's a legendary hockey player with 4 Stanley Cups. Let's go.
What a great mentor as well. What a great friend. Yeah. Like, that's what people, y'all have to understand, there's more than enough on the ice that he did where we can go and we can celebrate who Darren McCarty is, but who Darren McCarty's been as a person. I remember the first time I met him, when Woodward's they were doing their first big expansion, about 4 to 5 months into Woodward Sports being a company. And I was sitting there like, dog, that's Darren McCarty right there. I didn't even know, like, at the time that he was even a part of Woodward. And I walked up to him, he was like, oh, hi, Brandon, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, welcome. We can't wait to have you guys on. My name is Darren McCarty. I was like, bro, I know you're DMAC. He's like, nah, I'm just Darren. I'm just here to help. I'm here to contribute. I'm here to be like part of the team. That's who he was. And everybody that we talked to, there's obviously the Cloud Lemieux fight night, the Joe. Everyone remembers that, but everybody had a story about Darren McCarty. What's cool is people will have stories about their favorite players or about sports players, but it's always a moment on the ice. What's cool is that Darren McCarty really is a man of the people, because everybody we talked to were able to talk about their personal interactions with meeting this guy, either at the games or somewhere around town. That's who Darren McCarty is, and he's always doing something to help, to give back, to give advice. And you guys already know, his show comes right after our show. He's in here every day giving us advice. He looked out as well. We got to get in credentialed to the game. He's just a great guy, man. He's a great guy.
He is. It's special to be able to work here, to work with him, work with all the people we work, not just the professional athletes and the Ryan Ermannis and Mazes and Braylons of the world, but you guys who were there with Noah and Ryan last night, who were following DMAC around with their cameras. They're capturing much more higher produced content. We were in the middle of the action with all the fans, getting to meet all you. That's what Darren McCarty's all about. That's what we want to embody. Take some of that and bring it to the people. It just so happened to be that much more special that the Red Wings were able to get a win. You know, I was able to talk to Rake last night before, right when we got there. We weren't talking about hockey. We were talking about his wrestling career and different things coming out about his trip to London. Everything, it all falls back on DMAC supporting the people around him. So, hey, man, that's something that can unite us all. How about that?
It definitely can. And really talking about the Red Wings game itself, man.
Epic.
Some of the things that we talked about earlier in the week in terms of wanting to see improvement on the defensive side of the for the Red Wings.
You're about to say defensive side of the ball.
I was.
You were about to. I know. I'm calling you out.
I was, man.
Yep.
And the goalie. Everything that we want to see out of a team that could get hot and absolutely go on a run, we saw that last night. We saw penalty kills last night. We saw great saves from Lyon. That game, to me, is a microcosm of what the Red Wings need to be. Their stars put on, Dylan Larkin and Patrick Kane. There were hits. It was just an awesome time. The Detroit fans, the LCA crowd, they did their part as well. This was the perfect game. This is the one that you need to bottle up if you're the Red Wings and continue to bring that recipe game after game after game to make sure that if you can get a wild card spot, get a wild card spot. But if you can actually pursue a little bit more, continue to push towards that. Don't plateau. Have the expectations to restore this thing back to what we know Red Wings hockey to be about.
Trust the Wiser plan. That's one of DMAC's coined phrases. Iser plan 1919. Trust the Wiser plan. I'm all for it. KG, we got JB's reaction to that game-winning goal. What was your experience there inside the arena, seeing them get that Dylan Larkin pass to Patrick Kane, the assist to Patrick Kane, who puts it away for the dub? What was that like?
Hey, man, it was amazing. The energy in the building was really just, it was a lot, man. The fans were great. And just the team in general, man, I'm happy the way they played defense in this game, especially coming down the stretch, man. They had a lot of tough shots they had to defend, but in the end, they came out with the win, man, a really important win, and I'm just happy for the team so far, and hopefully they can keep this push going.
Let's go. Detroit Dabber 313 in the chat. Who we got to meet last night? What a guy. He says 3 octopi in a row, 2 away and 1 home. It's not, if I'm not mistaken, it's not normal for the octopus to be thrown onto the ice at away stadium. That's either starting to come back or starting to happen, showing how these Red Wings fans may be traveling or are implanted all over the country. I know we've been talking a lot of Lions for the last 6, 7, 8 months. But one of the things is the Lions fans traveling, taking over Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium, Green Bay, the Chargers. We know who some of the most loyal fans in all of sports are. That's in Hockey Town. And as soon as this team starts getting good consistently, which they might be at right now, the octopi are going to be flying.
That's what I'm saying. What a first game for JB, man. He gets a win. He gets to see extra overtime hockey. He gets to see the octopus thrown out there on the ice, man.
Yeah, that was a nice moment, too.
That was a great moment, man.
I spotted that, too. I was like, oh, the octopus. Look, they got it.
I've never seen it happen live. Like what happened? They just kind of stop play and the person goes out with the shovel and picks it up?
Yeah.
No, I think the girl picked it up with her bare hands and just like skated off with it like with pride. I was like, oh my God, this is intense.
Yeah. It was an awesome moment, man. And I'm glad, man. I even put this out there on socials, and I know you guys probably feel the same way as well. It's an amazing feeling to be able to not just cover the teams, but to be in the moment, man. That's what we want to be about. Make sure we can bring all of these positive moments, all these positive vibes to the forefront, especially as these teams are all on the rise.
Yeah.
This is also like, I can't wait till the Tigers games. I know that we're supposed to also be out at the Pistons when they honor the 2004 Detroit Pistons March 17th. I'm telling you guys, show up to the game. Please show up to the game. Even if you don't get into the game, you know what? We'll do content on the outside of the arena, man.
As I was leaving, that's what I was thinking. They had the Red Wings game, the end of it on what do they call the pavilion out there? The Pavilion?
Do they have a name for it?
I think it's a Chevrolet Plaza. I believe it's called.
Okay. Yeah. You got to see, like, there is some opportunity for some serious action down there. I know it just hasn't all come together. Maybe the NFL draft will make that happen, or at least kick some energy into it. But
District Detroit,
man, it was. When I got there about 5:30, there were a ton. Red Wings fans were already flooding the gates. A lot at the gate to see DMAC. A lot just trying to get in, get their seats, experience that in LCA. I didn't realize, and I haven't actually been to LCA this season. I didn't realize that the atmosphere. It's almost like a little town. And maybe it all again hasn't come together yet, but just walking around, there are different restaurants and shops and things just from around the city. I don't know. It was just really cool to me.
The famous concourse of LCA.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I do think it needs for Pistons games. It needs a little more basketball infused into it.
Please.
It feels like a hockey arena, which is great for the Red Wings. It feels like home to the Red Wings. I got to go to another Pistons game to get that feeling back. I think they need a little more love for the Pistons in there.
Going to these Pistons games, even while they've been down, there's been certain games where you see the stadium absolutely packed. There's been other games where you can see, okay, I can see why we're top 15 last year or the year before, top 12 in attendance. People still love their Detroit sports teams. Obviously, if you're not winning and if people are confused on the direction, if you're not necessarily appointment viewing, then there's going to be some of those fringe fans who I'm not going to hate on those guys either. I'm not going to call those people out. It's going to be a little bit harder for them to be kind of knowing and loving and endeared to these players. We don't even know which players are going to stick around right now or not. So I do give them a pass. But the ones that are still in the trenches and still showing up, it's a good time, man. All of the different interaction I'm able to have with the fans. I remember starting to interview a lot of different fans years ago, just asking them, why are you guys still showing up for the Detroit Pistons? And they say, you know what? It's because of the city. It's because of the culture. It's because it's right here on Woodward Avenue. And it's awesome to see those guys in there. And I do believe that as the Detroit Pistons get back to winning, oh my gosh, as the Detroit Pistons get back to winning, I believe that arena will feel even more so like a Detroit Pistons arena as well.
Love that. Love to hear that. You guys got any last thoughts on the Red Wings? Otherwise, we're going to pivot a little bit to the Pistons right now. Kool-Aid had some opportunity to talk to Monty Williams, to ask him some questions in practice yesterday? 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Wednesday.
Yep.
We want to show
we
it.
Practice again today as well.
Okay, you headed there after?
Yep.
All right.
Hey, so get your questions in the chat. We'll talk about it in the next segment too.
Perfect. Kool-Aid, I am going to tell you about Dispo. Our amazing partner, our amazing sponsor, Dispo. You can visit Dispo Dispensary today for exclusive new deals and experience a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere. They got fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. So come through the Dispo stores or order on Dispo Dash to get it delivered today. It's new year, it's the new deals, but it's the same plug. That's Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Hi, Diamonds, it's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hey, you guys, are you tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch?
Yeah, JB.
Well, it is a new era in sports wearables with new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. We've got everything to get you prepared for next season, or you know what? Even this season, too. We still got the Woodward Pistons stuff out there. We got the Woodward Wings. I was sporting a hoodie yesterday, and if you like that, you can always go to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. You know what? Grab yourself one. You know what? Get two.
What up, though, people? It's your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, repping Woodward Sports and the whole Wake Up Woodward family. And you know who else joined us tonight? A lot of our chat family as well. Hey, look, tell the people your name, or tell them your chat name, and tell them where you're from.
Oh, Detroit Dabber 313 is my chat name. I'm from Metro Detroit. Night at the Joe. You know, revenge was it was due and it was delivered for sure.
And who are the stars of that fight night?
I mean, Darren McCarty, you know, clear number one star of the fight. You know, it does take two to tango, though, so I'll give, you know, props to Claude Lemieux for that night for, you know, for taking the ice. And he knew what was coming, but, you know, he stood his ground, and it's a great moment in Detroit sports history.
What up, though, Detroit? Welcome back. It's Wake Up Woodward. Chat family, as always, man, it was great to interact with you guys and to meet you all. We're going to continue to try and be as visible and as passionate as you guys are and make sure this platform is one that can feature you. No matter the games we're at, we're going to talk it. I know that you even got to talk to some Red Wings fans last night about the Detroit Lions and the draft coming up, and we're going to play those videos a little bit later. But chat family, continue to hit that like button. Let's keep this streak going. Still the most liked show on the network.
Bang!
Since we started. Bang! From downtown. I love that, man.
Give me your Mickey Redmond.
Huh?
Give me your Mickey Redmond impression.
You give me a Mickey Redmond
No, I
impression.
can't. I told you I can't get that high. Pause. We just read the dispo read.
Yeah, you know, I can give you score.
There we go.
Right.
It involves a little bit of voice breaking.
A little bit of voice breaking. Yeah. And as always, the phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. I know we got somebody on the lines before we get into this next segment. Let's definitely get the fans involved.
Yeah, I think his name was John. So what's up, John? You on Wake Up Woodward?
What up, guys? It's good to hear from you again.
What up, Doe?
Last night felt like a playoff game.
Absolutely.
Right?
And here's my question. Do you re-sign Patrick Kane to maybe a 2-year deal?
Wow, John, that is a great question. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you. The question was, do you sign Patrick Kane to an extension, to a 2 or 3 year deal?
Why not?
That is a question. My immediate answer, and I don't know all the numbers and what a contract would look like, but I'm going to immediately say yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes. And my reasoning behind it is what I see out of Dylan Larkin.
Yeah.
First off, Patrick Kane is playing incredible. What's he got, 24 points in 25 games or 25 points in 26 games, something like that. But we're starting to see Dylan Larkin as you can even call him a 1B or a 1C, coming into his own. He's the captain. Mm-hmm. He's playing as good as I've ever seen him play. We saw last night, like that assist in overtime was everything to me. He's scoring, he's passing, but to see the chemistry that he has with Patrick Kane, that's what that goal in overtime was all about. Yeah. So however Derek Lalonde designed that play, him able to skate around the left side of the ice and then throw it behind his back almost to Patrick Kane, who put it away in OT against the Cavs. That's a man I want in a winged wheel sweater for as long as he can play. For as long as that hip holds up. Patrick Kane, keep him home. How about that?
Yeah, and you know what? It's Steve Yzerman going out there, and we keep talking about what the Lions are doing, what the Tigers are doing. He's continued to just sprinkle in the right mix of veterans and experienced players because Patrick Kane and DeBrincat, what great signings. Yes. Great signings to support the captain in Dylan Larkin. D-Boss. And you know what? That reminds me as well. We're going to have a segment later on where we can kind of go back and think about and talk about some of the best nicknames in all of Detroit sports.
I love that.
As well as think of some new ones for the guys that don't have it yet. D-Boss, Dylan Larkin, man. But yeah, those signings just from a place of fandom, absolutely bring them back. And I know we're gonna be able to have Darren McCarty on in the future. We're gonna have Sean Baligian on as well in the future to come and actually break down the specifics of Red Wings hockey and the NHL, the playoff chase, contract type talks, and all of that stuff. Because we want to make sure that you guys get the full feel of Detroit sports. We want to make sure that we are aptly covering it from all angles, from the chat, from our passion, from what we're actually credentialed to cover, as well as other people who are experienced in the game as well, through the Lions, the Pistons, the Tigers, and the Red Wings.
Speaking of the credentials.
Yes, sir.
You wear them for the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit basketball team. That allows you in to see the practice, some of the behind-the-scenes action from the Detroit Pistons. And I know it's been a difficult year, but they're showing some signs of life. Maybe not last night against the Pacers, but the identity at least is starting to be formed. Whatever the final product is, whatever that looks like in 3 months, in 12 months, in 18 months, that's to be determined. But Kool-Aid, you've had a chance to see at least this team go through some things this year. And you talked to Monty Williams yesterday, or Wednesday. Tell me about that experience, or lead into this video however you see fit.
Yeah. You know what? The one thing that we've talked about on this show, on this Wake Up Woodward show, and I've talked about it as well on Woodward Pistons, and I'm gonna do a stream over the weekend on this as well, is identity. Detroit teams, whenever they win, whenever they have this identity to kind of push towards to, it's always one that's easy to see. And that's been on my mind. We talked about it before we went to the practice, and we want to know, what is this team going to be about? Were they lacking talent? Because these games are going to be difficult to win because they just don't have the talent yet. I believe that they do have a good mix of young players on this squad who will be something down the road, but it's dependent on what Troy Weaver does. Now, aside from that, what can Monty Williams do to put this team in a position to forge the right identity? And I wanted to be able to kind of get his response on that. And JB, if you got that video, man, we'll cue it up and we'll talk about his comments after.
I know that winning is always the goal, but what is the identity that this team is trying to forge in this post-All-Star break and post-trade deadline?
I mean, there's too many things to name. Obviously, there's a lot of areas to improve upon. We know that when Stewie's on the floor, we're a much better defensive team, and there have been moments where we've been a pretty good offensive team. We want to try to combine those things, and these last 28 improve the efficiency on both ends. And that's why I told our guys we got to run through the tape. There's going to be a lot of teams that are playing for playoff positions. Some teams may have off nights where they're thinking about the end of the season or whatever the case may be. We don't want to be one of those teams. We want to be consistently growing every game. And as these 28 games wind down, we want to be able to look back and say that we ran through the tape. That's going to be something that we push and hold on to for the rest of the year.
Right. Yeah, the word that you heard, Dan, he actually used that word multiple times through that media availability. I know we're going to get some more opportunities to talk to him today, is run through the tape. We talked about wanting to see this team where you lack in talent, be able to go out there and out-hustle your opponent and allow us to be able to see that no matter who's out, no matter who's in, because they were missing Isaiah Stewart, a little bit of news there. The charges that were against him, the assault charges from the Phoenix thing, they've been dropped. He's been suspended for 3 games, which means how bad people thought it was, I don't think it's that bad. It is going to cost him a little over $100,000 in game checks. And you could tell that the Detroit Pistons were definitely missing the type of toughness and the grit that he brings to the table. But when you're missing just kind of one player like that, it shows that you actually need a lot more guys that can get in the trenches and grind out and play tough and play physical the way that Isaiah Stewart can. I like Isaiah Stewart at 6'7". I think he's more like 6'7". You listen like 6'8", 6'9". You probably need somebody a little bit more tough in that starting lineup. Yeah. But that run through the tape, this is the identity as this team kind of moves forward. You're not turning around anything this season, but have some pride to say, you know what, we don't want to set the new franchise record low for wins, which is 16. Have some pride, finish this season out well. Usually when you see runners, especially ones that are winning, you see them start to slow down as they get to the finish line tape. He wants to see this team run through that every single game. There's going to be wins, there's going to be losses. There might even be some blowouts. But what is your character? Who are you when you step out there on that field? What is it that Detroiters are able to identify with your squad? Obviously, Monty Williams is the type of coach who's used to coaching more veteran-laden teams, and that's why I do say, you know what, for this season alone, this team wasn't set up and designed for what he is as a coach. This team was set up and designed for the coach that Troy Weaver was going out to hire, and Kevin Ali, who's now the head coach. He's moved into the head coach role for the Nets, for the Brooklyn Nets. I said the New Jersey Nets. For the Brooklyn Nets.
You wouldn't be wrong.
For the Brooklyn Nets. And I did want to see what this guy was going to be able to do to put these young players in the best possible spot to succeed. But now Monty Williams gets an opportunity to see what they have. Troy Weaver gets an opportunity to see what they have with this new group of guys. And this is the final stretch. You cannot return this next year. Next year, your identity has to be running through the tape, hustling, all-out toughness, and winning. You can't come back with this next year at all. At all.
So Kool-Aid, I got to ask you, in your interpretation of this, because your response right there actually had some clarity of what you want to see out of an identity. I don't know if I heard that out of Monty Williams. Like you asked a great question, something I'm looking for. Like, what is this identity of the team, or at least what are they trying to build? From my perspective, I didn't hear that out of him. But when he's talking about running through the tape, is that where you feel he's living in his identity? Like that's what he's trying to say. He wants a team that finishes games till the end, or how did you interpret it? Because to me, I didn't get the answer I wanted, and maybe that's just from not understanding in depth what he's trying to say.
Yeah. And that's a good thing, because when I first heard it, I too had to go back to the tape and kind of just listen to it again. And I do have the full 8-minute clip that of him talking to all of us. I like to do this a lot because these are great guys who've helped me a lot in that media room. James Edwards of The Athletic, Vinny Goodwill of Yahoo Sports wasn't there, but he generally is. Omar Sankofa of the Detroit Free Press, Mike Curtis of the Detroit News, and Corey Woods of the MLive. These guys asked some great questions there. There are a lot of good questions. Some of them, they make it out into the wild. Some of them, like I know you guys have seen some clips. I'm going to try and get some clearance so we can talk about it later. Monty Williams and Jaden Ivey. And you kind of get a feel for what he's hoping to get. Some of the questions, though, are they get redundant over the course of a season. And so when I went back and I listened to the clip, I felt like he summarized in this running through the tape this aspect that we generally want to hear. Now, we know when Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, when they step up to the podium, they're a lot more direct. They're a lot more breaking it down. They're a lot more micro and less macro as it relates to this identity that you want to form. And I believe it's because of the natural kind of grit that you need to play football. It's the terminology, it's the words. And I believe that's what made the Detroit Bad Boys, though. They went and they did what? They adopted a football mentality. They went and they adopted a football identity. Not that they didn't identify with Detroit, but I believe that kind of grit, that determination, that physicality, that never stop playing, this other team has all of these stars on it, and the 2004 Pistons did it too, going to work. They adopted an identity from the city, as well as things that are generally associated with the football teams as well. Monty Williams, he used a racing reference. I don't know how physical or tough that is, and it just doesn't necessarily resonate with who we are and what we're used to hearing out of our teams. So I get where you're coming from with that. I wanted to be able to personally hear him say, you know what, defense is going to be what we're focused on. Hustling, making sure that nobody's beating us to the loose balls, because we can all see and tell this team is not that talented. We can look at the lines and see the talent. Not just young talent, because do the Pistons have some good young talent? Yes, but they are very inexperienced. They're still trying to build up chemistry. But I want to know that this team can go out there and punch the other team in the nose, like what Dan Campbell said in his first year. You know what? We're gonna scratch. We're gonna claw. We're gonna bite a kneecap. We're gonna get up. We're gonna bite a chunk out your butt. Like, I mean, this was Dan Campbell, bro. Hey, Dan Campbell said it. Am I lying? He said it cheek, bro. And that's what I'm saying, though. You know, he didn't care. He did not care. He said this is going to be the identity of the team. And sometimes I think breaking it down to the specifics of that allows your team to absolutely say, you know what? We're probably not there yet, and we need to get there. I'm hoping that somebody is pushing this team forward as it relates to that type of terminology, as it relates to exactly what this type of stuff means. Because if you and I were like, running through the tape, we don't know is it film? You know, we just going and doing film study. You know, that's
what I thought when I first heard it.
Yeah, with some of the comments he said earlier that we didn't put up there, we'll give more of a breakdown. That is where I realized, okay, this is what he means. But it could get lost with this team if it's not put in the same terminology of Detroit. Don't just come out here and say, hey, we represent Detroit versus everybody, but you're not also talking about and applying those attributes that's associated with Detroit.
Gotcha.
That is very important, especially for a team that has to play up to the rest of the league.
Gotcha.
That's what we've seen out of all of our teams. The 04 Pistons, everybody thought this team is dead in the water. Throughout the playoffs, multiple times people picked against them. When they got to the finals, everybody laughed them out of the gym. Every single person, man. There was not one national outlet you could find that was like, the Pistons, they're this team that's going to X, Y, and Z. They didn't even care about what we were, but they cared about it. The bad boys, how many times did they punch their way through the Celtics, punch their way through Portland Trailblazers to win one of those titles, punch their way through LA, punch their way through a lot of these teams that were supposedly better than them. That's what I want to see out of this Detroit Pistons team, man. You guys called this a restore from the beginning of it. The problem is the foundation of your team has to be about what this city represents, and it can't just start with what a basketball player running, if the coach messes with the player. It has to be, are you willing to go out there and work the full 48? Work. Don't give up. Do not give in. That's what we're doing every single day. Like I said, when I go to this gym, to LCA, and I see all the fans that are there, a lot of them are interacting like, man, I'm still going to come out, man. I'm still getting my season tickets. They're doing their job. That's the work. That's the determination. That's the grit. They're spending their hard-earned money. They have to get a passion to play for those people and match what the city is bringing to the forefront. Everyone keeps saying, they said in the beginning of the year, man, we see how much people are supporting the Lions. Isaiah Stewart went out there and said, yo, we want that. We want that. The Red Wings, we want that. The Red Wings are working for it, though. They've earned that. They've earned that. The Pistons, please earn that. Earn that, man. Earn that.
It happens. You earn it through running through the tape, or as Chuck Brewer clarified with me, running through the whistle. Like put it in those in basketball terms. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see out of a young team that's maybe not as talented as the team across from them, but it's whether it's the fourth quarter or it's a loose ball in a blowout game, we want to see them playing hard till that whistle. That's what we saw the Lions team at the end of 2021. Definitely at the end of 2022 in a game that means absolutely nothing against the Green Bay Packers. They went out and you could see them giving 150% effort. That's just what we want to see out of these young guys. Like, I think I can speak for a lot of people. We can be patient as fans as long as we know what the identity is, what the vision is, like what are they working towards. And I can trust you, Kool. I know you're in the building and you have a better perspective than I do that it is coming, especially after this trade deadline. At least some things are headed in the right direction, so I can deal with that. It's the chaos of not knowing where things are going. What is Troy Weaver doing? That's where I have a problem. But it seems like it's coming together, at least a little bit. That's all I need.
You know what? And the last thing I'll kind of say on this segment before we move on, because I know we got some Lions stuff that we got to get to, man. This draft gets closer and closer and closer and closer. One of the most important things about the Brad Holmes press conference, and I'm going to continue to say this, I told you guys, intentionality and what else? Identity. This is what the Pistons have to do. Go out there and find the players that fit this city. Do I believe Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey fit that? Yes, they do.
I do.
Jaden Ivey's father, Javon Hunter, via Everything King and Downtown Deuce, they did an interview with him. And he talked about the fact that Jaden Ivey has Detroit in his blood, and he does. I got the opportunity, you know what, we'll play some of those videos at a later time as well, to speak to him in the city. Got to speak to him. He talked about how his grandma still has a shop here at the Fisher. A lot of his family is still out here. His pops grew up here, played sports here. It's in his blood. He wants to win so bad for this city, man. He really does. And Cade Cunningham, he's not going to stop. Like I said, I've got an opportunity to kind of get to know their family a little bit behind the scenes. I'm telling you, they got it. But Troy Weaver has to go out there with the same intentionality to identify the right types of players that fit this city, that fit what we are about here, to make sure that this team can, like the Lions and like the Red Wings, take these steps forward. And like the Tigers, man, take these necessary steps forward. Man, when I see Max Clark, when I saw that picture of him kind of blinked out at that time, I'm like, you know what? Aura. But outside of Cade, outside of Jaden, outside of Jalen Duren, it gets a little tough to be able to say, well, where's the aura? This roster has continued to turn over year after year by 6 to 8 players. Find the players, identify the ones that fit here, and let's rock.
And how about this real quick? This just came to me. Dan Campbell was part of the 0-16 Lions team. A.J. Hinch was on the 2003 Tigers roster that lost 119 games. And Steve Yzerman, he didn't have any real bad stretches, but we know his history winning all those Stanley Cups as the captain. That is his nickname. There's something that like comes with that history, that being a part of the city, that I almost think of the Pistons as the most Detroit team, even though they've been in Auburn. It's a very strange, but we need some of that Detroit energy or grit as
and
the Lions use.
And it starts on the defensive end.
Yeah.
We've talked about it, man. We've talked about it. The Raiders, they're talking about adopting this identity. Hey, how dare you let another team go out there and try and adopt your identity? You go out there and you have to reestablish so that they're not just saying, well, we got to be like the bad boys. Why can't they say that they want to be like you today? That's the thing. Take it personal. Take it personal. And definitely, Marvin Strong said, I went to high school with Cade's cousin. He had ties to Detroit before he got drafted. He did. A lot of their family is from the Midwest. Ashton, the trainer, was in Toledo.
That's right.
Like, yeah, they've been here. And when they first got here, I've said this before, Cade and the family, they started immediately from Toledo all the way up to Flint and Saginaw, doing a lot of things behind the scenes without any media coverage. Getting out into the city and giving back, running little basketball camps, just going to different high schools and doing things, buying things for the AAU players and all of that. They care about this city, and the Pistons better do right by these young guys, man. They
Absolutely.
have to. They have
Absolutely. Anyone who's not on board with the Pistons finding their identity, they can stay out.
They can stay out, man. And the identity has to be steeped around defense. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, call that number. 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new Down Home Comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The Down Home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of Down Home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, dry aged beef, and Wagyu beef. You, yes, you can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Just visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. They got grab-and-go steaks that are delicious. And if you don't have the time to stop into the store and check them all out, order online and pick up from Fairway Packing. Order them at fairwaypacking.com.
What up, though, Detroit?
All right, I'm here with Nick, one of our loyal members in the chat, one of our fans of the Woodward Sports Network. Nick, say what's up.
What up, Woodward Sports?
Let's go. We got some trivia questions here. How many Stanley Cups did Darren McCarty win?
4 times.
That's right. Nick, what years? Name all 4 years of Stanley Cup wins for Darren McCarty.
97.
Yep.
98.
Yep.
2000.
Nope.
2002?
Yes.
It's the last one. What is the last one?
What is the last one?
96. I don't know.
2008. You got 3 out of 4. You might see yourself on Wake Up Woodward tomorrow. Right. Can you give us a Woodward Sports Let's Go?
Let's go, Woodward Sports.
Yeah, baby. Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go. What up, though, Detroit? It's Wake Up
Wake
Woodward.
Up.
It's our In the City edition. Whenever we get up with the fans, you will be the ones that are featured the next show, man. It was a great night, an awesome time, a good win, a great game. Good vibes with the bros. It was dope.
You just committed to some late night editing for many a games. Yeah. You just said the very next morning.
It's perfect though. It's perfect. Is there anything else I would want to do?
No.
There's nothing else I want to do but to be able to put on for the city, put on for all the hard-working people out here. It's like, you know what? The things that we're saying we want to see out of the Detroit Pistons so that they can get back to what we know and love, that's what we got to bring every day. Why should we come to this desk and not do more? Why should we talk about what we want to see other people and other teams and other athletes do, and we're not doing more? That's what I love about this crew. That's what I love about the network.
Let's go.
And this crew in particular saying we want to be able to get out. We want to be able to interact more. We know that that's going to be more work. We know that. But I don't really care when it's with you people out there. I'm dead serious.
You're choosing to be here. This is what you want to do.
This is what I want to do.
Let's go. Me too.
This is what I want to do.
Me too.
Shout out to our amazing booth as well, man. You guys already understand. These guys are elite at what they do. I think that they're the best booth on the network. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick, KG, brother. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm good, man, and I appreciate that. You know, I'm just happy to be in here with y'all. I learned from y'all, man, so it's been a great experience, man, and we're going to keep them good times coming, man. You know?
Let's go. Let's go. And we got Woodward Sports', not just Waco Woodward's, but Woodward Sports' MVP over there, JB Smooth.
Jay Bizzle.
What it do, bro?
Yo, what's going on, fellas? Hey, I got to just repeat exactly what KG said. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys in the morning. I feed off of your guys' energy, and this is just truly amazing. We're on the come up. We're working, baby. We're grinding.
Working. We're grinding. Yeah, that's the thing. Though that Detroit identity, that's something that we're gonna make sure that we involve and include in our show all the time. We talk about how the Detroit Lions players have continued to pick up on it. We're gonna definitely do that. In chat, we need you guys as well. Pick up on that identity. Let's continue to hit that like button. Let's continue to improve. Let's not plateau. Let's show the Detroit Pistons how it's done.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hit that like button, and the phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. And shout out again to Nick, man. It was fun. It really interacted with a lot of those fans. And we're going to have some more footage from those games like in later shows as well. Broder has some pretty cool things. We're going to definitely feature it, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You know what else I love? I love that KG now has a segment introducing right now. He's called Undercover GM. We're pivoting to the Lions for a little bit. KG's got something cooked up. We actually don't know what he's about to be asking us. We know a little bit of the details, but this is KG's Undercover GM segment. KG, talk to us. Lead us.
Hey, so we're going to play a little game, man. Have a little fun on a Friday. You have put on your best disguise in a trench coat and snuck into Allen Park. And they are going to allow you to make some decisions about where this team's going.
Okay.
For the 2024 offseason. So this is pretty basic. It's kind of like a start bench cut, but just with a Lions twist on it.
Okay.
You have to give me a player that you are guaranteed to sign in free agency, money notwithstanding.
Okay, that's huge.
Yep. So one player guaranteed to sign in free agency. You're going to give me one player that you are going to draft in the first round. And then you are going to give me one player that you will either cut or not re-sign.
Oh.
So, and I can start with mine to give you guys an example.
Yes.
And for everybody in the chat, you can play along too. You can just drop your answers in the chat. But the player that I am going to sign in free agency, guaranteed, is Leonard Williams.
Oh,
I think this Lions defense needs some interior line help badly. If you slot him next to a lean man, that's going to open up so much more for the edge rushers. And he's a cost-effective veteran who's had double-digit sacks, who commands a double team, and that will come in here. I feel like he will fit this Lions culture and Dan Campbell locker room perfectly. So that's my free agent signing.
And that's money. Money doesn't matter. Leonard Williams is going to be a big time contract, but money doesn't matter. Any free agent,
not necessarily, because he just came off of a big time contract.
You're so right. My bad.
Yeah, with the Giants.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they traded him, but he took a pay cut on his deal in the trade to the Seahawks. Like I said, he's cost effective.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry about that. Hey.
Oh no, you're all good. But that's why I would do that, just because he would be on the cheaper side, and then that won't handicap you from making other moves on your team. So that's the player that I'm guaranteed to sign in free agency. The player that I'm guaranteed to draft, I'm moving up to the top 12. And I'm going to get Terrion Arnold.
No!
The quarterback out of Alabama. I've been big on this guy ever since. I've been more on his train than Kool-Aid McKinstry. To me, he's the better corner. 6 foot, 200 pounds, 4.4 speed, great man cover skills. He fits the AG system perfect. That's my draft pick. They need some corner help really, really bad. They're going to end up signing one in free agency as well, but you want to draft a stud that you can have, either start day one or you can help develop. So that's who I'm guaranteed the draft.
And Phil just said in the chat, would love to stick it to Seattle, referencing the Leonard Williams pick. I'm thinking.
Absolutely. And the player that I'm guaranteed to either cut or not re-sign, I had to think about this one. This one was kind of tough.
Yeah, right? Loyalty gets in the way here. This is what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have to do all the time. Also, what made him special on Hard Knocks when we saw him cut some of the players and the respect they got. But that doesn't make the decision easier.
Yeah.
Who you cutting or not bringing back?
You kind of making me rethink it. It was between two players. But as a matter of fact, I'm going to just say I'm not re-signing DPJ.
Okay.
And, I do agree with what you've said in the past that we need like a big body receiver presence in this Lions offense.
Draft?
I feel like you can, possibly the draft, but they can also look for options in free agency, maybe get an even more talented receiver in here as our wide receiver 3. So I'll just go with that. The other player I had in mind as far as cutting was Levi Onwuzurike.
Oh.
So I was but I might give him one more shot. I might give him one more year to stick around and see what he can do for me. But
who knows? His name might pop up in one of our 3 undercover GM responses.
Yes,
that was awesome. So you went Leonard Williams as a free agent. You would sign.
Yep.
Your first round draft pick would be Terrion Arnold, cornerback out of Bama, and then you're cutting DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver. If you had to make that decision.
Yes.
All right.
So what say you? Who wants to go first, man?
Look, if you guys want to go first, there's a benefit to that. You use up the players. Otherwise, I'm going to go right now. You got 3 seconds.
I'll go.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, look. I want the Detroit Lions this year to improve in 2 ways: on the defensive line as well as in the defensive backfield. In free agency, if money is not an option, and part of me is like, man, even if it is an option, I've been saying it. I got to go with Chris Jones or Danielle Hunter. I've been sitting here kind of going back.
That sounds like 2 people.
I'm going to go with Danielle Hunter, though.
There we go.
I'm going to go with Danielle Hunter. I was like, man, which one? I got to go with Danielle Hunter. I do believe that will be the perfect player to add on this defensive line to be able to give Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, and the rest of these guys, if James Houston comes back healthy, just an absolutely more nasty vibe on that defensive line. And then in the draft, if they stay put, if he falls to the Detroit Lions, you guys already know, I'm hoping for Kool-Aid McKinstry in the defensive backfield.
Wonder why.
I do believe that there are some, look, man, I've been since I saw him kind of get that deal with Kool-Aid like 2-3 years ago, I've been really, really cued into who he is. I like what the Detroit Lions have been able to do with the Bama players as well.
Facts.
And I do believe that with the ones that we already have on the squad, the camaraderie, the chemistry, being able to kind of get him up to speed on anything, I just like that fit, man. I would love to be able to see him here as well. And it solves kind of 2 parts, they're missing 2 of their weakest in terms of where they're going to go this offseason to improve. In terms of the cut, I was thinking about Donovan Peoples-Jones. I kind of hate to have to steal that one as well.
No problem.
But yeah, no, that's where I would go as well. I'm hoping that the Lions can go out in this draft and be able to find somebody with a wide receiver with a little bit bigger body, somebody who can get downfield and kind of be one of those possession receivers. Like that's what I'm hoping for.
I love that. I love that. JB, before you go, let me read off some of these. We got T-Roll Bigums agreed with you, by the way. Danielle Hunter. It looks like Corey Berry wants to bring in Chris Jones. CK and T-Roll Bigums say bye-bye. CJ, GJ. Eduardo O'Neal. Josh Reynolds can bounce. What about going after DJ Warnham or DJ Reader? John F. and Lord says Chris Jones, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and cut CJ, GJ, Kaminsky, or not bring them back. We got some good ones in here. Sneed, Jared Verr, CJ, GJ for Dante 151. I see some of these. I'm not reading the ones that involve some of the players I'm going to ask. But JB.
I like that Jared Verse pick.
Actually, real quick, let's review. Your ones again. You're signing in free agency. Danielle Hunter. Your first round pick is Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yeah, I have to, man.
And you're cutting, if you have to, Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver. All right. JB Smooth.
Jake Bizzle.
Talk to us here. Free agent. Money doesn't matter. Who you bringing in?
Hey, if money doesn't matter, and I'm going to make this one simple. I've been talking about this guy all in free agency. Bring me Mike Evans. Bring Mike Evans home. Give Jared Goff another weapon out there on the field so he's not just sitting there relying on Amon-Ra St. Brown every single time. I know Josh Reynolds had some slip-ups during the playoffs, and that's kind of what killed us a lot. I think if you bring in Mike Evans, it could elevate both the passing game for Jared Goff, and who knows, even for Mike Evans again as well. He's probably going to have another 1,000-yard season. Another guy that I would draft, I'm Brad Holmes. I'm the chef right there. I'm cooking up. I'm going up in the draft, and I'm going to get Jared Verse.
He's cooking.
I am going
Talk
to get
dirty to me,
Jared
JB.
Verse. That defense will be nasty. We pair him with Aiden Hutchinson. This dude ended up on Bruce Fell's freak list of 2023. My man is just is crazy. He's super athletic. I definitely think pairing them both together will be a freak defense out there for the Detroit Lions. And one person I'm cutting, I'm sorry, Cam Sutton, you're out of here, man.
Damn.
I can't.
Ooh, Sutton toast.
1 year left on the
Sutton
deal.
toast.
Sutton toast. I'm sorry, man.
Oh no.
Oh man,
Camp casualty right there.
Hey, he's I think a top 3 or 4, depending on. They just cut Tracy Walker. He's near the top of the team in your cap hit, so there's some financial benefit to that. I'm giving him another year. I'm giving him the next 2 years on his contract at CB2. But I get where you're going. You're getting a lot of not many people. And this actually surprised me. All the people who aren't interested in the Mike Evans. Yeah, they're saying he dropped. Who was it who said? Shoot, I got to find this comment and give him credit. I lost it. Oh, Chase Amley. Mike Evans has dropped more balls than puberty the last few years. Edward O'Neal. Mike Evans was a league leader in drops. The drops don't bother you. You want the size. You want that the wide receiver threat, the skill set that he brings,
the wide
JB.
receiver threat. I haven't given up on J-Mo just yet, but hey, I think this upcoming season is a prove it. Like, are you going to be that wide receiver 2 that we need, that we are all depending on? We're all hoping that you to be. If not, then yeah, those labels are going to come out once again as being a bust. And like, why did we end up drafting this guy when he's just going to be your number 3 or your gadget guy? Like, we want to see you out there 100% of the time on the field.
Big facts. But listen, I wouldn't be mad moving J-Mo to the slot and having a Mike Evans there. It wouldn't happen realistically, but man, oh my God, he's been a 1,000-yard receiver every year he's been in the league.
Just think of like how you match up to them defensively with the deep threat that Mike Evans would be on the outside. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta taking over the middle of the field. J-Mo could be either. He could be flying out of the backfield.
How do you defend that? How do you defend that?
Still got your run game.
Unreal.
Gibbs and Montgomery. That's nasty.
And when you're talking about basically returning this Detroit Lions team to where they were last year, but trying to take that next step, I don't really care about his age. I don't, some of the deficiencies you got to look at, but who Mike Evans could be kind of in a vacuum, in a battery for this season ahead, I absolutely would love that fit.
Yeah.
I absolutely would.
And he's one of those. Every year in his career in the NFL, he has caught over 1,000 yards passing. I think it's 10 by now. I think it's in the double digits. But every career, you got to imagine, even in a loaded Detroit offense, Jared Goff will find the way to get him 1,000 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. End zone target all day long.
Right. Who, you got someone on the line? Before I give mine?
Callers on the line. We got Pete. I'll put him on because he's been waiting the longest.
Yeah, throw Pete on there and then I'll give you mine.
Hold on. Kirk Forrest said, is everyone hosting this show high? Yeah, high on the Red Wings.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Who we got, KG?
Oh, we got Pete. What's up, Pete?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, what up, though, Pete? I love caller Pete.
Hey, I want you to make a coffee mug. Triple T. Heavy Tea Tuesday. But anyhow, talk about TDs. Okay, hey, I want to take a game last night with the Red Wings. Oh my God, my wife got home from work. She's a nurse, and we ended up watching the third period and in overtime. I love it.
I didn't. Do you guys hear Pete?
Yeah, he was talking
okay,
about
talk to him. I can't really understand. One of you guys. Hey, Pete, sorry. That's my brother. I can't hear you. If either of you guys can hear him, talk to him.
Yep, you were saying how was effectively that Red Wings game in the overtime, Pete?
Yes.
It was.
My wife is a nurse.
It was.
My wife is a nurse. She's a nurse and got home from work, and we sat instead of her watching during the hospital, we watched the rest of the game.
Hey, Shout out. He was saying, I think his wife came home from work and they watched the rest of the Red Wings game.
Listen, the energy in that arena was epic. And one of the things that I absolutely love about the Red Wings, and it when they're in the middle of a playoff run or a playoff chase, when they score and the fans are going crazy, and you guys have heard me talk about this too as well in this show, that goal horn, and they've brought over the one from Joe Louis.
Yeah.
Epic. It was epic, man, the entire environment. And it was cool. Fans high-fiving each other. People interacting with us, man. It was a vibe. It was an absolute vibe. And to be able to be there with the homie, Darren McCarty, as well, that just takes it up a notch for us, man. It was so dope, Pete.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Pete. We appreciate that, and I hope you had a good time. If I understood correctly, watching that third period in overtime with his wife after he got home from work.
Freddie Feldhaus is this Titty Tuesday guy.
Yeah,
Tiger Titty Tuesday.
Oh, that was Pete. That's right.
Yeah, pay-per-view Pete.
Pay-per-view Pete.
Yep. Shout out pay-per-view, man.
Yeah, but can't fast forward through that.
You can't.
Unpausable. Let me give you my last Undercover GM responses. We'll go to a break. We'll get the caller. We got a couple mock drafts to react to. So my free agent that I'm going to get, or my off-season signing, money aside, I'm getting Josh Allen.
Okay.
Former defensive lineman, plays all over for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That Josh Allen, not the quarterback.
Primarily an edge, though.
Yeah, primarily an edge. He's young. I'm doing this. I love Danielle Hunter. That's who you took, right, KG? I love Danielle. No,
he did.
That was Kool-Aid. Love Danielle Hunter. If I had to choose between the two at this moment, I've changed a little bit. I'm going to go with that youth. If we're signing an edge to a long-term contract, more than a year or two, I'm going with Josh Allen. He's a beast, and he's just continuing to get better. Dom Rivera, ding! Wake up. It's the morning show. That's what's up, Dom Rivera, 88.
Let's
my
go.
man.
Hey, heck of an icon, too, man.
Right?
You see his Abby up there?
Oh. Speaking of big cojones.
Hey.
Put that on the table. I love that, Dom Rivera, 88. My first-round pick, if I could have the choice of the litter, I'm going to go with Jackson Powers Johnson, the center / guard.
PJ.
He played center most recently at Oregon, but he can play any of the interior offensive lineman positions. This is to just build reinforcements next to and behind Frank Ragnow. He's had some injury history. Yeah. He's still got a couple years on his contract, but you never know. Yep. You never know. What's up,
Real quick, does that mean you're not re-signing Jonah Jackson?
That is exactly who I'm not re-signing. Who I'm not bringing back, who I'm cutting. It wouldn't be a cut. Who I'm not bringing back is Jonah Jackson. Jackson Powers Johnson is my replacement for Jonah Jackson, and then long-term replacement for Frank Ragnow. And I'm doing this all with the assumption we're also going to re-sign Graham Glasgow. So our offensive line next year is Frank Ragnow, Jackson Powers Johnson, Graham Glasgow, Taylor Decker, and Penei Sewell.
Nice.
And that's the offensive line that I think Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery can run behind. I think Jared Goff can continue his improvements, continue to have time and find his receivers. I think Jackson Powers Johnson would be a home run if he falls to 29, which I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. You know what? Keeping the most elite position group on the Lions that much more elite, and everybody wants to take a step forward. I don't think that you can just kind of sit idly by and just say, you know what, they were good last year, they'll be good next year. Hey, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, these are guys that are going to make the shrewd moves. These are guys that are going to go out there and know, you know what, this is what we need to sprinkle on a little bit more to move this Lions team closer to winning a Super Bowl next season.
Yes, sir. KG, that was awesome.
Thank you.
I love that idea.
Thank you.
I love that idea. We're going to work that in more and more. You got these clever ideas, KG. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Next week, we're going to be starting, and after the break here, we're going to react to some national mock drafts. Next week, we're going to start reacting to your mock drafts. We're going to dive into more NFL Scouting Combine prospect review. I will be there starting Wednesday through the weekend.
Let's go!
But we're going to start rolling out our Wake Up Woodward NFL Draft preview. It's all kicking off next week. But before we get to today's mock draft, I just talked about drafting a big boy in the first round.
Yeah.
I also want to go there to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, or dessert because wintertime in Detroit is always better with that comfort food from Big Boy and Harry Mack. Try the veal parmigiana or the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. And if you want some breakfast, they got the stuffed potato pancakes are back. That's the classic, the lumberjack, and the Santa Fe Garde. Also, the new apple pie hotcakes are too good to miss, so you got to get to Big Boy to check them out. And if you have a sweet tooth, top it all off with the new gingerbread shake for dessert. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Football season is officially over, and spring training is here. In fact, tomorrow, game number 1 against the New York Yankees. Tigers versus Yankees. However, Jack Labrador is here 24/7, 365 days a year. You can learn how to play now on your phone at jacklabrador.gg. They got 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. They're getting rid of the same old rock, paper, scissors. So just remember, once you go Jack, you never go back. Go to jacklabrador.gg now.
You know, I think at 29, I see a lot of the major players be gone. So I want Brad Holmes, cook up, move up a couple spots, get to like maybe 20, grab one of the top corners if they're there. You know, I like Quinion Mitchell. That's my guy.
Out of Toledo.
Quinion out of Toledo. That's my guy. Or Nate Wiggins is a good lengthy corner. So, you know, I want a corner to help out. And then I like James Houston on the edge, but another edge to help us out.
What edges? What are you thinking?
Man, I want Trice. You know, watching Trice in the playoffs, even in the regular season, you know, watching his film. Trice is a dog, and especially, you know, Brad, he only likes the motivated dogs. Trice fits the category. Trice is a dog, and Trice is going to be a Detroit Lion at the end of the draft. I swear.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, Lions.
Let's go, Lions.
Alex, you're the man.
All right, thank you.
Let's go.
Let's go.
What up, though? Detroit, welcome back. It's Wake Up Woodward. The sun is out. It is shining bright. Man, we're going to have a great day today. Just as great as the night we had with the fans at the Red Wings. What a win. Man.
Let's go. Shout out. That was Alex Fagenson. Shout out. He's a budding TikTok star and has an Instagram handle at Alex Fagenson, Fagenson.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. And chat. Continue to be the best one on the network. Smash that like button for us. Support the crew. It helps the show. It puts it out there into the webverse, whatever we want to call it, man. And the phone lines are open, 313-552-6322.
Ring, ring. Pretty Ricky on the hotline. We got somebody on the hotline.
Let's go.
Talk dirty to me, Eduardo.
What up, though, Eduardo?
Yeah, let's get it.
Don't talk dirty to him, Eduardo.
Please.
What's up, man?
Fast forward.
I got you, brother. You ready?
Yeah, hit
ready?
me.
So, all right. So to answer, KG's, question. So, Jalen Johnson is my sign. This is why.
Jalen?
When the Bears had no pass rush. Yes, Jalen Johnson.
Cool.
When the Bears had no pass rush, he was locking fools down still. That lets me know that he is a good corner, regardless of the pass rush. My draft pick. Listen, I'm gonna be at the draft. This guy makes it to 15. Brad better freaking work some magic. If I'm Brad, JPJ, baby. That's the guy. I will listen.
Do you say JPJ?
Like draft crushes. Yes, JPJ.
Love it.
Powers Johnson. Listen, if I have 3 draft crushes. He's my number 1. That is my guy. I would be ecstatic if we end up with him. And my cut, Josh Reynolds can go. And by the way, if I'm keeping Powers Johnson, I also want to keep Jonah Jackson. I want elite guard play. We can go a long way, especially with the D tackles in our division.
Good point.
That's all.
Eduardo, that was fantastic 3. You were the undercover GM on this call. Let's review those, but we appreciate you giving us a call, Eduardo. You are the man, always supporting us in the chat. So he went his free agent acquisition, Jalen Johnson, former DB from Chicago Bears, and he said he wants Jalen Johnson because when the Bears did not have a pass rush, he was still locking down receivers. That's a good point.
I'm a little iffy on him, though, because we only seen 1 real year of this. So I feel like we need to see it again. Yeah, contract year.
It's in the scout's hands to understand, okay, can he replicate this if he gets paid? Is he going to tear off a little bit?
Yeah, and you said scout's hands. I don't want this to just kind of go just by. It was just a mention, Broder, man. Look, what we're going to do in this show, we're going to make sure that everybody gets their proper due. Props. Yeah, and you're going to be at the combine. We can't just kind of skip over that. I want to make sure that the chat family knows that what we're bringing to this show, especially in the coming weeks, it's going to be on the ground level. We're not just talking about what's happening with our sports teams. We're going to be there. And Mr. Matt Brodery, he's done fine work covering these Lions for us this year.
Thank you.
He stepped right in under, the pressure of, hey, getting out there, being the new guy in the media room, covering probably the biggest media room in all of Detroit sports.
It was wild.
And you did your thing this year, man, from Woodward and Main Street to covering it down there on the field. And now you're going to be out there because you've earned this, right?
I appreciate
you've
that.
Earned this. Like, regardless of if a media company's supposed to have a representative there or not, you've earned this. I know you're going to crush it. I can't wait to be able to kind of see what content that you bring, what your report is. And chat family, I'm telling you guys, he's going to crush this, and we're glad. I'm grateful we get to enrich our show and our audience with this experience. Congratulations, Matthew Broder.
Appreciate you. It's going to be fun down there. There's going to be some personalities we're trying to lock down. I know Taylor Lewan's going to be down there, former Tennessee Titan and University of Michigan tackle, star of Bustin' with the Boys, he and Will Compton. Rich Eisen always runs the 40 at the Combine.
You need to challenge him.
Pardon?
You need to challenge him.
I'm trying. The DMs are flying. No, I'm trying to see what we can do, a little bit more exclusive stuff. But even some of the NFL Network personalities who we've had on, Cynthia Freeland, Daniel Jeremiah. I was on a conference call with him yesterday. He's talking about the Lions draft. I'm going to include all that in part of my pre-combine coverage of what to look out for the Lions. But it was really a really interesting conversation. But it's going to be fun down there. We're hoping to bring some really cool content. Real quick, Eduardo, Jalen Johnson said free agent acquisition for the Lions. He said he's going to cut or not re-sign Josh Reynolds, wide receiver. And if he falls to 29, actually, Eduardo says if he's there at 15, Brad, go up and get him Jackson Powers Johnson of the Oregon Ducks. He wants elite guard play. And he'd probably play guard while Frank Ragnow is still healthy, active, and on the roster. But that is how you do it. Wait. Did he say JPJ, but he said also re-sign Jonah Jackson?
Yeah, he didn't.
Did he say also Graham Glasgow?
Oh, wait. Did he say cut Graham? I don't think
he didn't say cut Graham. Nonetheless, he was talking about elite guard play. So maybe he's keeping all three or maybe keeping both and still drafting a guard. Nonetheless, I love the players. Yeah. I love the players. We do have another call before we get into these mock drafts reaction.
Yeah. Yep.
Who we got on the line, KG?
I always call him one of the great callers of our time, Freddie Felt 313.
Freddie!
What's up, my man?
What up, though?
Hey, what up, though, Woodies and Whatettes?
I like it.
Hey, real quick. First off, I'll get the Lions talk out of the way. Cooper BB or We Riot. That's my draft analysis there real quick for the Lions.
Cooper C. or
BB or We Riot. Yeah, the corners, by the time we get to them, we're not going to get the dude we want. The guys at that point are too handsy. Drops, not a lot of interceptions for my liking, just a lot of handsy stuff going on. So, anyways, you were talking about the LCA experience, the hockey experience last night.
Yeah.
I got to put you guys on. If you don't know, now you know, to quote the great Christopher Wallace. Vegas, I'm not a big Vegas guy, right? I'm not into it. It's like Night at the Roxbury on steroids. There's just a lot of douchery there. Every girl, every dude, the lemmings are out. They look, act, talk the same. It's annoying.
Yeah.
The lights, like you do it once, you go to the strip once, you've done it, it's done. If you're in your feelings because you're a Vegas person, who cares? I don't like it. But what I can say, though, if you're ever in Vegas, go to T-Mobile and go to a Vegas Golden Knights game. Dude, the reigning, defending Stanley Cup champs,
I'm Red Wings till I die. You already know. But the experience is crazy. Like, it's crazy. Don't do what I did and get a double shot of JMO outside of the arena. It was $100 for 3 double shots.
Oh, man.
Don't do that. First off, just pregame, like, do your thing pregame, but don't do that. But inside is just, it's crazy. Like, they have it's a whole spectacle. Like, it's like you walked into a nightclub and then it was like, oh, there's a hockey game going on here.
Wow.
Like, they have a castle at the top where the top of the arena. They have, like, a castle, and, like, there's, like, a DJ and, like, burlesque dancers, and, like, a mariachi band comes out in between, like, in the intermissions. They have girls in booty shorts that are, like, shoveling the ice off the like, it's hilarious.
Yum.
Like, it's such a good time.
Right? Tasty.
If people
I'll
go to
give
the
you my
penalty
enthusiasm
box,
for that comment because the other guys here on the set have a significant other, but nice. All right, continue, Fred.
Wifey knows. Hey, I have a wife, but it's all good because I just don't do it behind her back. So it's all good. It's all love.
Nice relationship.
But they also, when somebody gets a penalty, they do the Game of Thrones shame to whoever's in the penalty box. So it's a fun time.
That's dope.
Just saying, if you're ever out in Vegas, go to a Golden Knights game. That's all I had.
You know what? That's a great call, man. And I love Vegas, man. My wife and I, we got the opportunity to get down there this summer. She supported me as it related to NBA Summer League.
Oh, you went to the Summer League?
Yeah, it was
Sick.
an awesome time to be kind of like in the environment, to get down there, man. It was cool, man. And you know what was really,
Vegas is
really
a
awesome?
lot.
You know what was really awesome? For NBA freaking Summer League, you guys out there, Detroit fans, y'all are sickos. Sickos. Do you know how many Detroit Pistons fans were out there? It was wild, man. The content was endless. And I got it up on Woodward Pistons as well. It was endless. We'll be back there again this year. I can't wait for it.
Nice.
I can't wait. It was a great time, though.
Interesting relationship with Vegas. I did what's probably the wrong move. A couple years ago, I had 2 of my buddies. They had their bachelor parties were back-to-back weekends in Vegas.
What?
So it was just,
And
it
you
made
survived?
financial sense to stay there versus flying back for 2 days and then flying back again that weekend. So I stayed in Vegas for about, it was 8 or 9 days. Which is
4
about
days too
4 or
long.
5 days too much. Like, it is a wild place. It's a ton of fun.
It's
There's just a lot going on. It's exhausting.
What can you tell us, man?
Nothing.
First of all,
Zero.
First of all, legend, you survived that. It's not
Barely.
just being there for a week. You survived 2 bachelor parties
Mm-hmm.
in Vegas in back-to-back weekends.
And didn't end up in a hangover scenario.
I was going to ask. No, we
I'm
don't
alive.
know. We
No
don't know.
tigers in the bathroom.
We don't know, though. I got to ask you, was there any hangover scenarios?
Not to that extent. Nobody got lost. There was no ransom needed. There were some moments, though. There were some.
No tooth got
There were
knocked
some
out.
bloody moments. There were some crazy moments.
Hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah. We're gonna leave it at that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Onward.
Brother Wild.
Yes.
I love that. Fast forward.
We have our own a little hangover segment. We got 4. I'm gonna see flannels here. 5. Doctor. What was the doctor? He's a doctor in real life. The character in The Hangover.
Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong.
Yeah.
Yes. Love him. I don't know where I was going with that, but you guys got my mind wandering. ADD. Let's do one mock draft before the next segment. Then we'll finish off our 2. Welcome to Detroit, Gio. What's
Big
up,
shout
Josh
out.
Prince?
Yeah. We got to break that down, too, man.
What?
The Geo signing.
We should probably talk about that in the next segment a little bit.
Gio Urshela?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that next segment. Let's react to one mock draft here. One first-round pick for the Lions from Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network. Okay. We got 2 more to do next segment, and we'll talk Gio Urshela next. Who was that who made that comment? That was Josh Prince. Josh Prince. Give us 7-8 minutes, and we're going to be talking
I'm
Gio.
sorry, man. I was cracking up.
Say it, let it fly.
JB said what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yes.
Well, Keto for the win says in the chat, hey, JB, herpes did not stay
Oh,
in
boy.
Vegas.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's some things that follow you.
I feel bad for you, Keto.
Is
he saying for him or for somebody else?
Who knows?
Whoever it is, they woke up crabby that day.
Dad jokes.
Daniel Jeremiah. JB, will you throw up that mock draft from Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network?
Yeah, I think I got the right one.
Awesome. I bet Daniel Jeremiah has been in Vegas. We're going to go to a break after this, but I included pick 27 and 28 before the Lions in this screenshot to paint a little picture of of what either they just missed out on or if you're happy with this. So Zach Frazier at pick number 29. He's an interior offensive lineman from West Virginia. He's a stud. And I would not be mad at this pick. We're assuming Jackson Powers Johnson, the center from Oregon, is off the board. I can't remember who was 30-31 in this mock draft, but what would you guys think about Zach Frazier being drafted as another future replacement for Frank Ragnow, but in the short term can play guard? And with the context of maybe should Brad have moved up to try to snag one of these defensive ends, Chop Robinson, Darius Robinson, or another player.
I'm a little sick. Chop went the pick before.
One pick before,
I'm
right?
big on Chop Robinson, man. But I mean, anything that helped this O-line, I'm not going to be mad at all.
Yep.
Because like I said yesterday, you have to start accounting for not only Frank Ragnow, but if you don't re-sign Jonah Jackson and Taylor Decker, you need some versatility in that offensive line. So, hey, I'm not mad at any offensive line pick they may or may not make in the first round.
And Daniel Jeremiah actually wrote, I didn't mean to pass this over, and shout out the heavyweights, Easy and Spenny. They do a fantastic job of really going in depth on all these players.
Yeah.
We stay a little more high level, covering all the sports, although we're going to get more in depth next week. But they've spent a lot of time on Zach Frazier and talking about he's a 4-time state champion wrestler in high school. Daniel Jeremiah says it seems like a Dan Campbell type of player. So DJ is thinking along the lines of who the Lions are going after. And then a state championship wrestler at an offensive lineman position, I want nothing to do with that. As a defender, as a Lions person, I want everything to do with that.
Right. And you know what they're speaking to as well? Another kind of identifying trait of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes types of players, they're versatile. They can step in right away and play wherever is needed. Penei Sewell, he was able to kind of switch around. We know that a lot of these guys on the offensive line, they're versed or at least put in the time and the work and the effort to be able to be versatile along this offensive line. And I can't hate it. I can't hate it. If they decide to beef up and continue to keep this offensive line the top unit, games are won in the trenches. And right now we know that this offense depends on that offensive line. Whether you're losing players or whether your starters are in for the whole time or whether you got your subs coming in off the bench, they depend on this offensive line being at optimum peak efficiency, man. Performing at the top of their game. Keeping Jared Goff clean. Being able to take running backs in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, who we already know are highly talented. But you're talking about giving them an offensive line in front of them that's gone from elite to even more elite. I'm not going to be mad at it at all if they decide that that's the way that they decide is best for this team in the first round.
Definitely. JB, I'll go with you for the first one in the next mock draft. Before now, we're going to take a break. Kool is going to tell us about Lady Jane's. We're going to come back, do 2 more quick mock drafts, and talk to Josh Price about Gio Urshela. So Kool-Aid. If I'm right there, if it's a different read, let that one fly.
Hey, you know what? We'll save Lady James for a little bit later, but right now we'll talk about the good news and some bad news.
Oh,
and I got 2 pieces of good news. The Detroit Red Wings, man, they look like they are primed for a playoff push and maybe to get a little bit further in terms of a playoff season than just a wild card. But I'll start with the bad news as well, is that insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan. The good news, though, another piece of good news, is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
I will be at the 2024 NCAA tourney, and there's a way that you could be there too. If you come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience, you get registered to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Jimmy St. Dennis from the Jimmy St. Dennis Show on
What can you say about Darren McCarty?
Well, I think McCarty's an underrated player. I think he deserves more credit for the entire Red Wings organization.
That's right.
He got us a Stanley Cup. And without that fight, nothing. None of this would have happened. It's because of this fight night we won. And also, I believe we got to get him to motivate the Lions for next season. That would be worth it. Him to motivate every Detroit sports team. We can get champions with him.
What up, though, Detroit? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Hopefully, DMAC can inspire these Detroit Pistons as well. Chat family, y'all are great as always, man. The callers have been awesome. The interactions last night were dope. The chat has been on fire in terms of every segment, man, especially the Lions stuff, man. You guys
appreciate you guys.
Always keep us on our toes, but I always like to support, too. Continue to hit that like button. The phone lines are open, 313-552-6322. Call in and talk about anything that you've heard us talk about today.
Yes. Before we get to these mock drafts, let's hit this Gio Urshela news right now so we can talk a couple minutes about this. This is a pickup. We referenced it in the opening segment back about 8:05, 8:07. We're talking very briefly about Gio Urshela. But
can I tee it up first?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you get the reference? You get the reference, right? Baseball, right? Hey, you guys, Mr. Matthew Broder. Hello. He is our Woodward Sports Detroit Tigers credential beat writer and reporter, and he's also a D1 pitcher. He did pitch for the University of Michigan.
Holla.
I just wanted to make sure we teed that up.
Thank you.
Because, look, I love the Tigers. I'm a fan of the Tigers. You know baseball. You understand what these moves mean, and I am ready to be able to hear what this signing means for the Detroit Tigers.
I appreciate that, Kool, and I really like this signing for a number of reasons. Most basically, it's a low risk, very low risk to no risk, and a high reward. It's not often you can talk about a veteran with potential. I mean, This is a 32-year-old, 8-year veteran, but he's got the ability to do some things in this Detroit lineup if he can earn regular playing time that we haven't seen in a long time. He can play that Placido Polanco type role as someone high in the lineup who can get on base in front of the Riley Greens, in front of the Spencer Torkelsons, or maybe he starts a little lower in the lineup and provides some stability hitting near 300, in the upper 200s, 275 or above, near the bottom of that order, so there's not this huge drop-off in a batting lineup that we've seen over the last couple of years where maybe we have 2, 3, 4, 5 decent hitters or good hitters, but then the bottom of the order, they're hitting under the Mendoza line, under 200. Right. So this brings just some balance to the lineup, some stability. He's already down there. He signed yesterday for $1.5 million, which is a deal and a half for a major league player to get 1 year, $1.5 million. It's about as cheap as you can get. So again, low risk, high reward, already down with Florida. He spent time with the Guardians, the Blue Jays, Yankees, Twins, Angels, and in his last full season in 2022, where was he? In 2022, with the Twins, he played in a career high 144 games with the Twins, hitting .285 with 13 home runs and a .767 OPS, which is a combination of on-base percentage and slugging percentage. So Gio Urshela is one of these guys. Although he missed half of last year with a pelvis, he broke his pelvis. Before he went out, he hit .299. So he would be one of the most one of the hitters in this lineup with the highest average. We need guys to get on base. This is what Michael Bedard, the new hitting coach from last year, he's brought over to reshape this organization. This is why they drafted Max Clark and not Wyatt Langford. They want guys who can consistently get on base to set the table for your power hitters like Spencer Torkelson. Maybe Kerry Carpenter starts to hits 25, 30 home runs this year. Yep. This is just a great guy. And on defense, he's going to be competing at third base with Andy Ibanez, with Zach McKinstry. This move might mean Matt Vierling has to move to the outfield or focus more on the outfield, which he was doing in spring training yesterday. But this is a guy, again, when he plays, when he's out in the field, he hits for average. He knows how to win. He's been in the playoffs. So to me, having those guys in this organization, it's a win. It's definitely not a loss.
Man, this is a very smart, cost-effective signing. I'm so happy that they solidified third base. Shout out to Sky Harris for this move. Now, I'm not saying this is going to turn them into a 90-win juggernaut.
No.
Like, that's not going to happen. But this was a very good signing from the standpoint that this guy hits for average, a career 277 batting average. He knows how to get on base, man. He's going to help these young guys a lot. And also, he's very good against lefties.
Yes.
Anytime you can get a hitter that's good against lefties, you get that guy in your lineup, man. That's going to pay big dividends for us. And also his versatility, man. He plays infield and outfield. He's played second base. He's played first. He's played in the outfield. So, man. And
he plays some short. He plays some short.
And that'll still allow some versatility as far as like getting your young guys some time. Like they'll still be able to platoon a little bit, but I'm glad they kind of got like a pseudo everyday starter going forward. So I love this signing. And I think it's gonna help them out a lot.
And I love hearing you guys talk about it because I know, KG, you worked at Comerica Park for years, man. And so it's cool to kind of get your perspective on this as well as Broders. And just whenever Greenberg and Harris, in this front office, whatever they do, especially when you kind of broke down the way that they look at the game, these are signings now that whether the measurables, whether the stats from prior years were there, there's a very specific reason why these players are now being brought to the Detroit Tigers. And I do believe it's going to be some stuff that meshes very well with putting our young players in the best possible position to succeed, because obviously this rebuild is going to be about not just for years talking about, the Detroit Tigers, they got the number 1 or number 5 or the number 12 or the number 20 prospect in baseball. It's about these guys going from prospect to top baseball players in the MLB, period. And I do believe that every single move is a foundational building block to be able to move these Detroit Tigers closer and closer and closer to that goal.
Mike O says Tigers roll the Comedy Central division. that is part of the reason to be optimistic, though. The AL Central is not expected to be very good, so they can compete without having to spend or commit to players for long-term contracts. Think of this like a Graham Glasgow one-year contract or a Cam Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley. I know some of those don't look as good after the season, but everyone wanted Brad Holmes to commit long-term, spend a lot of money in free agency last year, but they got building blocks to put together. They want Penny Sewell and Hutch and Amara. They want these young guys to develop. That's what the Tigers are doing too. So the Gio Urshela, I'm going to go with the Graham Glasgow comparison. It's like a Graham Glasgow come in. Who knows? Maybe he earns a long-term contract like Graham Glasgow might.
And I'm just glad they didn't rest on their laurels. They're showing me that they are willing to make moves if this team can be successful. Hopefully that plays a role down the road. If they are good and they do what we expect them to do, then, maybe around trade deadline time, we might be able to add some more talent. Who knows?
100%.
That's very key, man. If they can position themselves, because I don't care about the condition of the AL Central. I care about what the Detroit Tigers can do to put themselves in position to win it. And if they're just that close, then it does signal to the front office. It does signal to ownership, you know what? Maybe now is the time to push the button and actually spend that money. But if your foundation is not right, spending that money would just wind up being a whole bunch of bad contracts piled up on top of each other and wondering, where do we go from here? While your top draft picks and your prospects are just kind of in the minors wondering, well, when are we going to get our shot as well? Being able to do it this way, bringing in some specific people who can help these young guys. This is what I'm hoping that the Pistons can do. This is their problem right now. I believe that they got the prospects right, but they have not gone out and identified those specific kind of veteran, experienced players that can come in and be able to help this team take the next step. I do believe that the Detroit Tigers are on the right path. The Lions have done this well. They're going to continue to do this well. They've done it so well that their young players are up for contracts. Their young players are making all-pro teams. Their young players are breaking records. But the players that they have here on the roster, they're also contributing in a big, big way. The Detroit Red Wings, we talked about it as well. Sprinkle in the right mix of veterans and experienced players. And regardless if these guys are going to come out and be at the top of the stat sheets and all of the different kind of stat leader categories across the NHL, we know that these players, we talked about the impact that Patrick Kane and DeBrincat were able to make for guys like Dylan Larkin and some of the younger guys on this squad, man. Like, this is what I'm hoping that the Detroit Tigers do. And like you said, man, if they can put themselves in position to be that much closer to the AL Central lead by the trade deadline, then maybe they do go out there and they're buyers rather than sellers.
Yeah, 100%. Eric Allen made a great point in the chat. Remember how at the start of the season, everyone thought the NFC North was going to be what the NFC South ended up turning out to be? Broder, I think that'll be the AL Central this year.
That's true.
And surprise. That is totally a possibility. While we say the White Sox are crumbling or the Royals aren't going to be competitive or the Twins are going to take a step back because they aren't spending, there's still quality organizations that have a chance with a young lineup. In baseball, you got to score runs and you got to limit the other team to limit the other team's runs in its simplest form. And the issue with young players at the major league level, you get in slumps, you get in times where your lineup just can't produce runs for stretches of time. That's the worry. And if they get into a hole, especially in April, they got to have a big April. If they get into a hole, no matter how competitive they are for the rest of the season, they can totally take themselves out of contention early. So it's a whole formula. And in baseball, it takes a lot longer for draft picks, number one overall, any draft picks, to make it to the big leagues. In football, and while we're going to do one more mock draft, these are players that the Lions are targeting to come in and contribute next year.
Right away.
Or the year after. They're shorter term, they're developmental projects, but there's an assumption or an expectation that they contribute to a winning team as soon as possible. And so that's why. Let's do one more mock draft before we get to what's trending with JB. JB, pick whichever one of the two are left in Slack, and we'll talk about it. But the comparison was the Tigers, it takes more time. You got to put certain pieces into place so the young guys can truly develop and get at bats in the right situations. With the Lions, this is someone they need to take them to the next step. NFC Championship to the Super Bowl. JB, who we got up on the screen
So let me throw up, I'll just go right in line, Joshua Cashwell.
Joshua. Okay, so I put number 30 on here just to know what was available after, but they have the Detroit Lions, and this is, you said it was Joshua Edwards? No, Joshua Caswell from Pro Football Network. There we go. Kamari Lassiter, cornerback out of Georgia.
Not bad.
I like this pick. It says if they don't trade up for a corner, the Lions are probably upset that Arnold went to the Packers at 25. That would not be good. However, Kamari Lassiter is still a really good player, and the Lions desperately need help in their cornerback room as it plagued them late in the year and in the playoffs. So he's not huge, 6 foot, 6 foot, 180-pound frame, but he plays bigger than he is. JB, I'm going to you first. You didn't get to give your opinion on the last mock draft. Would you be cool with them taking Kamari Lassiter at pick number 29?
I mean, I don't mind it. Definitely given the reputation of where he comes from, that school of Georgia as well, too. The Lions do need cornerback help desperately, as is stated in here. But he is on the lighter side. He is a little bit, smaller than he actually is. But as you said, he plays bigger. But that could be a factor when it comes to the NFL as well. He might have a big difference on wide receivers that play a little bit physical, but he is the same way as well too. He's very aggressive out the line as well. I mean, he does at times tend to lose his targets when he's looking back for the ball, but I think that's all something that you can, change and slightly fix. But if anything, I definitely think it's a solid pickup if, all our other options are not there and available. So I don't mind it.
Yeah. We got Deshae Townsend, the new DB's coach, cornerbacks coach, defensive passing game coordinator coming in. You never know. I don't know enough about him and his development of young players yet, but it should point to good things. I know I said one. Let's do this last one because I just peeked at it.
Okay.
And the pick after them really concerns me. And we got to talk about it real quick. So this is Josh Edwards from CBS Sports having the Detroit Lions pick an offensive lineman and offensive tackle out of Arizona with pick number 29. But what I really want you guys to see is who comes after.
Oh, no.
CBS at it again. They had it again.
So not only did Nate Wiggins fall, which I sort of don't expect him to fall to 29, but in this mock draft, he fell. The Lions not only didn't take him, but he also ended up in a perfect location for Nate Wiggins, which is Baltimore. I can't even focus on Jordan Morgan with Nate Wiggins after. KG, talk to me. This hurts you. I can see it.
Yeah, look at the pain in his eyes.
Pain.
He is arguably the best corner in this draft, man. And if he drops to that spot, you have to take him, especially seeing that the need that you have in the secondary. But I just don't see him getting this far, man. He's going to get taken within the first 15 picks, I would say. I absolutely don't see this happening, but please don't plague our Lions with this. We are better at drafting now. We're not just going to skip over a talent like Nate Wiggins. Come on now. I'm not buying that.
Look at that. 6'2".
Good job, CBS.
Here's the difference between Nate Wiggins and Kamari Lassiter, who we just talked about, 6'2". 185. I want that L'Jarius Sneed type of cornerback, a big physical receiver that can handle the Mike Evans, the Cortland Suttons, the CeeDee Lambs, the Justin Jeffersons. You guys know the pattern I'm going with this one? Yeah, we need those guys to be locked down.
And I do have a question for you guys, man, especially the football know over there. If Nate Wiggins falls, at what point, at what spot, if he falls to, do you believe that Brad Holmes probably needs to say, you know what, let's trade up?
All right, good question. Let me see if I can pull up this draft board if we still got it in here. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at KG.
Let's see. If he falls past the Seahawks at 16, you got to make a move, I feel like.
You know Jacksonville would try to get him.
Yeah.
Put him with Campbell. That's a nasty little twosome.
Tyson Campbell and him. Yeah, that'd be nice. But
what do you think about pick of 12?
I would gladly move up to 12 if they can get to 12. That might be a little bit of a harder spot to get to, but we got a relationship with that coach, so I don't know.
Right? And maybe they want J.J. McCarthy at 29.
Maybe.
You know Brad Holmes likes pick number 12.
Yeah. I like it.
But I love that, KG. I love that. Let's take our last break. We got about 10 minutes to go. We got What's Trending with JB Smooth coming in hot. Get your mailbag questions in. We're going to jam it all in. End of Friday. We're jamming it all in. Get them in. Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
You're up. Could you tell them about Premier Pet?
You guys already know I can. You know what, man? Where I go
Where
for
do
my
you go?
pet lion to give him the best.
Premier
Pet Supply, it is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers with one major difference. They're family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. 30 plus years, brother. Yeah. Look, man, for over 60, they got over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts to help you same day, local, curbside, and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. You can find them at www.premierpetsupply.com.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience. They call it the Feldman Advantage. They have over 18 locations, so there's got to be a dealership in your backyard. Just visit feldmanauto.com to find out where that location is. Guess what, too? They host us at their Novi dealership every other Monday. They're great. It's part of what makes Feldman Chevrolet
And your
Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. Yeah, my Corvette.
Yeah,
that blue Corvette. I'm coming for it.
Fast forward.
Look who we ran into. It's John Kloss. Look, he does a lot for us behind the scenes. I know that you guys might not know the full depth of it, but with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family, man. He actually is. And I appreciate what you do. Darren McCarty of the Red Wings, also of Woodward Sports Network as well. can you just say a few nice words about Darren McCarty and the person you know him to be?
Yeah, so I actually went to Darren McCarty's wrestling event last year. That was pretty crazy. He does his like death matches and stuff. But yeah, DMAC's really cool. I've definitely talked a lot of wrestling with him, and he's given back so much, and definitely a big part of Woodward sports, and just a really cool guy. And I know he's touched a lot of people, and really, I mean, we all know him as a hockey player, but he's just also a fan and just a really good person to be around.
Shout out John Claus.
Detroit,
Sorry.
welcome back. It's Wake Up Woodward. No, definitely, man. Shout out John Claus. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more. Chat, you guys are awesome. You helped us kind of get over that 100 likes. Let's keep it going, man. Let's continue to smash that like button, share the stream, post it to socials. We appreciate you guys, especially the ones where we are highlighting and featuring you guys, man. So thank you for being here. The phone lines are still open, 313-552-6322, whether you want to put your mailbag in the chat or if you want to call in, because we're going to try and get some mailbag questions as well. And like you said, man, to kind of start off this segment, shout out to John Claus. He does a lot for our socials. He does a lot as it relates to clipping this show, getting up our segment clip as well on YouTube, preparing the different graphics and thumbnails that goes up for our segment clip. And I just want to make sure that everybody that's involved, I know a lot of times we talk about our 4 to 6 man cast here that also includes Terry and Flannel Sam. I saw him walk in just a minute ago, and the greatest booth boys on the network, JB Smooth and the TD Booth, our MVP and Detroit's first and overall draft pick, Mr. KG in the sound booth. He phones, back wall, all that type of stuff. Mr. Matt Broder here, credentialed Detroit Lions and Detroit Tigers beat writer, and credentialed at just being a great person.
A Harry Mack fan.
Hey, there you go. And your
best
boy
freestyle rapper in the world.
AKA Detroit Kool-Aid, man.
Credentialed Pistons beat writer and reporter. I got you, dog.
Thank you,
You
brother.
helped coordinate everything last night. John Claus, he's the dude. I know he's been waiting. He's a baseball fan. He's a wrestling fan. He's been waiting for some Tigers content here. I'm happy he's a part of this crew with us, too, so we can chop it up there. But we got a few minutes to go. You know what we got to do.
Let me get my Michael Buffer and my The Rock on right now.
Tell him.
It's time for the most electrifying segment in sports entertainment. If you smell what JB Smooth is cooking, it is What's Trending with JB Smooth.
Jay Bizzle.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? So
what's up?
No time to waste. Let me hop into this. I just got one question for you. This is traveling, right?
Hold on. I see what you did there. Let me hop into. Oh my God.
What?
Whoa.
What the hell?
One more.
All right, he's in Detroit right now.
Slow-mo.
Oh, the same pivot foot.
Now
Okay,
he's
2,
in Ontario.
3, 4.
What? Now he's just somewhere in Europe, bro.
One,
That man
two.
got like 5 passport stamps.
Okay, wait.
traveling,
Actually.
Nah, he traveled.
No,
No, ain't no.
But wait, how many? 1, 2,
3, 4. That's 4 steps.
He got 2. He has 2 hop step gathers.
All right,
that is
so
a travel.
1. Okay, that's
That's
his pivot
one
foot.
gather.
2,
3.
This is another gather.
4.
That's just a jump. He didn't take another step.
Come on now.
I get it's definitely 3 actually.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
great.
a James Harden move.
The hop
Right,
step
this is a modern
a
NBA
step.
move. Definitely.
Okay.
I just don't know. Is it traveling or not?
It's a
Super
travel.
traveling.
If he didn't gather the ball on the first spin, he could have gotten away with it. But when you actually do the first gather and then you also do 1, 2, and then a hop step, that's a travel, man.
Stamp the passport. He's traveling, bro.
Stamp it. Hey, this is my question: is where all did he go? Where all did he go? Because that guy was traveling. Where's
From
his passport
LCA
stamp?
to Ford Field to Comerica. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Hey, he even he got a bead on it as well. Aren't the Lions supposed to be overseas?
Yeah.
Playing next year. Yeah.
Next season, maybe the season after. Yeah,
He just decided I'm
he's
going there now.
Scouting. NFL Germany, NFL Europe. Wow, I'm gonna watch that over a couple times after.
you
It's
definitely
closer
gotta-
than I expected.
You definitely have to watch that one over again as well. But this next video, I just gotta ask: is this unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike conduct, or is this fair?
What in the world? What happened?
She loses her shoe. She throws it back to him. He steals the ball.
Okay, this might be an example of one of the highest basketball IQ plays I've ever seen. Like she threw her the shoe so she would catch it. What? Forget that she's playing a basketball game.
Right.
Forget she's got a basketball in her hand. Goes and steals the basketball while this girl's like, wait, did she just throw a shoe at me?
Breakaway layup.
Takes it for a breakaway layup.
That's crazy.
Honestly,
that's genius.
Don't confuse my generosity for kindness, dog.
It was a lose-lose. She would have had a double dribble anyway. I'm pretty sure she picked the ball up and held it, trying to catch the shoe. So yeah,
Bro.
it was kind of she kind of whipped it at her.
Lose, man. Wow.
That is terrible.
Not unnecessary rough. There's no flag, no penalty.
Yeah, no penalty, no penalty on that one. But I got to play this video because my man KG is over there. He's got the Batman logo on. So just when you think you're out of the clear, and you know what, no one's not watching, he's watching.
All right, I'm not paying for this one. Pay for this. All right, I'm not paying for this one.
What?
He's always watching.
All right, I'm
damn right.
paying for this one.
I know he looks like Batman, but it looks like he's Robin.
I see what you did there. But that's it for what's trending with JB.
Y'all already know how I feel.
Right.
Man, my man JB found a way to get Batman on the show. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I absolutely love that, man.
You the man,
awesome.
JB. Those are funny.
Those were funny, man. Great job today. And you continue to bring up these basketball clips that absolutely wow me. I'm just like with the stolen tip off the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm throwing the shoe back to you and then getting a steal. I'm just like, you know what? I've been in that situation where a player loses the shoe, you give it back to him, and you're good, you're ready to play
Not
again.
get play though.
That person was just like, you know what? Skip all of this.
Sign her to the Pistons today.
She got she's running through the tape.
Yep.
She's running through the
Defense.
tape.
Hey, that's the type of defense we need.
That's Lindsey Hunter,
Put her
Mike
on the
James.
squad.
That is Michael Curry, Lindsey Hunter, Mike James-esque.
Yeah.
Wait,
Gary Payton level.
Hold on. Show it again. Did I see someone that I
Come on now.
Oh,
Do I gotta
man.
put it in the air? You know what time it is.
Man, Batman, let's go. Let's go.
Second favorite superhero ever. First is Spider-Man. Shout out Spider-Man.
One more time.
I said second favorite hero ever. First is Spider-Man. Shout out Peter Parker.
Shout out Peter Parker.
And Miles Morales.
Shout out Dispo, Mary Jane, 2. Let's do 1 and 2, 3 quick mailbag questions here before we wrap it up. It is 10:01. We thank you guys so much. Xavier D, I see you. Puns.
This has been awesome.
That's what I try. We're having fun here in the studio. I got to get to John Lord here. I saw him post it again. I'm gonna paraphrase this, but if Woodward Sports had a mascot, this is from John effing Lord, what would that mascot be?
Crystal with an X.
Well, we've seen a lot of those in here. Also, Crystal with an X is not Gabby. That is not Gabby acting. I see that often.
It's easy to mistake them.
I see that often. The blonde hair may confuse some people. JB says Crystal with an X. To be clear, the very first mascot, and I think he's still our family mascot, Woody the dog, Woody the pup, I should say.
Yeah,
Stick the dog,
Yeah.
Woodward the pup, was
the
adopted,
pup.
was rescued here in this studio.
Nice.
I want to say 2-3 years ago by Stick.
Detroit Dog Rescue.
Yes. One of the most awesome dogs of all time. Woody
the pup.
Woodward the pup. Any other mascot ideas?
They said Spencer is the mascot.
Spenny.
Ski mask boy.
Ski mask boy.
I'm with that.
What about any weird mascots you like? Forget Woodward Sports for this moment, but like historically, what are the weirdest names or mascots? And
you know what? If you've been to a Motor City Cruise game or seen any pictures, man, I take my kids there every now and then when I got to cover the game. It's a cool experience, first and foremost, for the kids. They absolutely love it. They get on the screen. They get to meet the players, and Pistons players show up too. My son got a picture with Cade. But that mascot absolutely terrified my kids. The name of it's Turbo. I wish we had a picture. That mascot absolutely terrorized them, bro.
Wow.
It terrorized
Turbo
them.
from the Motor City Cruise?
Yes.
He's still the mascot?
Yes.
I think we gotta go get some content with Turbo.
We probably
Oh, wait,
Yes.
do you guys remember when the Warriors actually had the two or three terrible mascots? One, there was a guy in like a full orange bodysuit.
Yeah.
Another, there was a guy with like a helmet on that kind of looked like Flash, and he was trying to be like like a boat man or something like that. I don't really know, but those were two of the terrible ones I remember.
Yeah.
The Cranbrook Kingswood High School, right up the Wood, right up Woodward.
You went to Cranbrook.
They
That's a
used to
private
be.
school.
That's a private school. Clarence's parents had a real good marriage.
They did.
Back in the day, I forget how many years ago, they were separated. Cranbrook was the boys' school. Kingswood was the girls' school. And the Kingswood mascot was the Aardvarks.
Oh, wow.
The Cranbrook Cranes and the Kingswood Aardvarks.
The Kingswood.
The Aardvarks?
Not so intimidating.
Call them the Arthurs.
I don't know if it's the meme with the fist. Then,
Maybe I don't know my aardvark history, but it just doesn't really stand out to me. Aardvarks.
Hey, shout out to the Detroit mascots too. We got some of the best, most underrated mascots in the game. So.
Was it Paws? Rory,
Hooper.
Yep.
And who was
DMAC?
Well, the octopus.
Well,
would be,
Al the octopus. Is it Al?
I don't know
Was
the
it
name.
Al?
I just know it's octopus.
They need one. A skating octopus?
Yeah.
Do they not have a They need a mascot.
The wings? Well, I thought it was the octopus.
Oh, is it? Like, I don't see a character running around,
like it's
skating around the ice.
Official. I know that at Joe Louis they used to have like the big purple
octopus.
Yeah.
Bring him home. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Playoffs are coming. I can feel it. Pause.
Ski Mask Boy, he said, Al's the name. You got it, Kool-Aid. That's it. Al the octopus.
Al the octopus.
Yep.
Boom.
And I believe that it was, if I know my history right, the arms. It was how many games it took to win the Lord Stanley Cup back in the day?
Al, is that I'm bad with my Roman numerals.
AL, just
the shape of the L on your forehead. What's L in Roman numerals?
What,
or am I
50?
misunderstanding what you're talking about?
AL.
Al.
Yep.
I'm a
Ski
mess.
Mask said, it was 8 games to be able to win Lord Stanley's Cup.
Gotcha.
And so that's why they use the octopus, and you already know the Red Wings, they're winners.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
And I feel like I remember hearing that, too. So I dig that. I like it. Let's call it a day, boys. Let's call it a week.
This was
Chat.
awesome.
This was so much fun.
Michael
Kool-Aid,
said,
take us out.
this was great discussion. And you know why, man? Because we were able to feature, and we're going to continue to feature you all. We're going to do our part. You guys continue to do your part. And let's make this one of the best shows in Detroit media, period. Not just Detroit sports media. This is about the people. It's about this family. It's about what Detroit represents. And I am grateful to be able to have this platform, and we're going to use that to be able to feature you guys a lot more. Listen, for our amazing crew, man, we got KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick over here in the sound booth, phone lines, back wall, the music in and out of breaks, all of that type of stuff. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Over here we got Woodward Sports and Detroit's MVP, man. We're going to upgrade it, man. There's no plateauing here. We got Mr. JB Smooth. Always, man, with the most electrifying segment in sports entertainment. Thank you, brother. Shout out to John Kloss, Flannel Sam, Terry Foster as well. But we also got my man over here.
Yep.
Just an overall great person, Mr. Matthew Broder, Detroit Lions and Detroit Tigers credential beat reporter. I'm your boy, Brandon Dan, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid. Hey, you know what? Nah. Let's do the pitch, man.
But no, I told you, we look stupid throwing a ball 5 feet. No man can look manly doing it. We got to come up with another one.
Make it happen, man.
doing it.
Come on, yo.
I can't look at that.
Look at this, the baseball player. Of course, he would set it down. You know what? Then I'm going to get a basketball, and we can do a chest pass.
That's fair.
We'll do that. But hey, you guys, thank you as always for being here. If you haven't already, definitely smash that like button on your way out. Hope you guys have a great day and that you're blessed. It should be a good one. What up, though, Detroit? It's been Wake Up Woodward. Wake up.